This video is going to be pretty short. The real reason I'm making it is to ask you for help. Really, I need help. So stick around, but first, a bit of background information. As you may already know, I've spent the last couple years really focused on not just English learning, but English learning with AI, because I think these are two things that belong together. But to be effective, it has to be done correctly. When I started off, the tools were pretty limited, still useful, but pretty limited. So for example, I was using things like GPTs to connect to my courses to help students practice. But I knew that wasn't the best possible experience, so I kept working. And I built three really powerful tools that go with learning content to help learners actually learn. When you learn, you start with learning and then you practice, but you have to have feedback there, because if you practice the wrong way, you could waste a lot of time. So feedback, accurate feedback, feedback that knows what the original content is and what your goals are, that's very, very important. So one tool for pronunciation, not just analyzing text, but really analyzing pronunciation and giving accurate pronunciation feedback. Another for feedback on assignments. So for example, you take a lesson about verbs, you make some example sentences, and then you get feedback, not just on how correct the sentences are, but how correctly you completed the assignment. And then you can ask follow-up questions. That's very important too. That's part of the process. And then a really accurate level assessment. What is your current English level? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What should you be focused on right now? All of these things are meant to complete the learning loop. That is, learn, practice, feedback. Feedback is the key to practicing the right way, to make sure that what you learn actually becomes a real skill that you don't have to think about, so that you can actually then make real steps toward English fluency. So after making these as good as I possibly could, putting them into the 90-day program, I then realized something. Why should these tools only be in my program? It seems like they could be used in so many other ways by other people besides me and my students only. And that brings me to this. This is a big project that I've been working on. It's called the Alchemy Lab. What we want to do is help people who teach English offer really powerful AI assignments, feedback, and scoring. Most teachers already have content and lessons. Most schools, they have curriculum, they have good stuff, but they can't always give really good immediate feedback to all their students. So this allows them to do that in a really interesting way. The students get really accurate feedback on all the work they're doing, and the school can see what students are doing and help where they need to help. Because if students are just using ChatGPT on their own, maybe that's good if they know how to use it well, but not always, right? You want to be able to guide them and give them the right path, because you as a teacher know what you're doing. Now, I know most people watching this video are not English teachers. I know. But what I'm asking is, if you know someone who is an English teacher, or you're studying at a school and you think this could really help, or you're in a university as a student and you're in the ESL program, what I'm looking to do is partner with schools, programs, teachers, coaches, to run a short pilot program, basically to test it out. I really want to get feedback. So I'm not looking to charge money for this, besides maybe API costs. The goal is feedback, learning, to really see how students around the world use these kinds of tools. So for example, this student has done a few activities. This is Luke P. Let's say a student has completed an assignment where they have to do some writing. So this is the goal of the assignment. They met the goal. They got a really good score here. Specific things that they did well, recommended improvements based on specifically what they wrote in their assignment. So it's highly detailed, very specific, and schools or teachers, educators can also add to the feedback. So review the feedback before sending it to the student, and then maybe add some notes to it. Okay, and this one might look familiar. This is pronunciation feedback. This is something that was read by the student, and this is analyzed by a model that can actually hear individual phonemes. It's not doing an analysis of text. It is actually analyzing pronunciation. So maybe a quick note from the teacher, the score breakdown. You can listen to the audio. You can hear coach feedback. It's based on the one that I created for my 90-day program, but actually this is more flexible. So the idea is that it's highly customizable. So I really want to work with schools and teachers on getting this right for each school and teacher. CEFR placement check. This is basically the standard scoring for what is your English level right now. So right now, this one is out of 100 and the CEFR level. So it's meant to be really flexible. And the important thing also is it's not a black box. You know what your students are doing. You can actually help them, you can guide them, you can show them what to focus on next, you can see how they're doing as they go, but you're not overloaded by having to try to give all of them detailed feedback, which for many teachers is just not possible, right? Especially if you have a lot of students. And this is my honest opinion. I think in most cases, well-tuned AI feedback is higher quality than most good teacher feedback. That might be a little controversial, but that is my honest opinion as someone who's been teaching English for 15 years. You get a speaking versus writing breakdown. So this is just sort of the full analysis of your assignment. It's quite detailed, right? And it's also very, as I mentioned, very customizable. So this is what I need help with. If you know teachers, schools, university level programs, coaches with multiple students, and you think this could help them, please reach out to them, let them know, show them this video, and then have them reach out to me. The link to connect with me is in the description. You can click on that link, you can read a bit more about what we're doing, and you can contact me that way. So please check it out for yourself. Share this video with somebody who might be really interested. Of course, you can also check out my own program, English Fluency in 90 Days. I'll put that in the link below as well. That is all of these tools and over 50 hours of lessons, 5 courses. It's pretty intense, but it's a really effective way to improve your spoken fluency. Anyway, check those out. Thank you very much for sharing in advance. If you do, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.